180 and when rapid speed down to 2500.
Point wherever you reduce speed to 180.
Black Box.
All right. Hey, welcome back to KP's Black Box. I have a special guest today, and as you can see, this is not the normal setup in the studio. So we actually have Haley hailing from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So Haley is a great friend of my daughter-in-law, and she was in town for Sophia's baby shower. And I just overheard her talking about entrepreneurship. And we were around the island, I think, talking about over charcuterie and
Yes.
eating great food that Kathleen and Sarah had prepared, my wife and daughter. And I was just listening to Haley talk, and I was really impressed by some of the things that she was saying. And then I caught hold of how many people have viewed one of your videos on TikTok. And I wanted to bring you on the show and talk about it. So Haley, welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. How's the early morning in Chicago?
It's actually really nice out this morning. It's sunny, but it's 37 degrees. So it's cold and sunny, probably really windy like it is every day.
The Windy City.
But It is a beautiful day out. So
it is here in Virginia Beach. It feels like Chicago. It's cold, windy, rainy, nasty out. There's been this front that has moved across from the Midwest to the east.
Yep. Sorry.
Last week we thought we had spring. Now winter's back.
I saw that it was like 78 degrees.
Yeah, it was nice. That would have been the right time to be here. But actually, you had good weather when you were here.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
So, Haley, tell me about how kind of this transpired for you. But let's really start all the way back to the beginning. And dang it, I actually forgot we got to do a toast. So I was getting ready to jump right into this. And how dare I forget something I'm really passionate about, Haley, is our community of warriors and military members, not only here in Virginia, but across the world. And,
yeah, absolutely.
if it wasn't for, those that are going ahead of us and providing the sacrifice every day for our freedoms, we would probably be in a different nation right now. So I always like to, as a prior Marine and, Sophia's hubby, my son, Isaiah, serves in the Army. And so, we're very proud of our military members, and we always like to do a little shot. I like to use Johnny Walker Blue Label. What are you drinking this morning?
Crown Apple.
Crown Apple. That seems kind of sweet.
Not my favorite.
Well, we'll pretend it's Johnny Walker Blue Label.
Okay.
We're trying to get Johnny Walker to actually participate with us, but as of yet, I don't have this big following like you do. So you're gonna have to teach me how to be an influencer of Johnny Walker.
Okay.
So that's what we'll talk about today. But at any rate, cheers to our military.
Cheers.
Click. Yeah, thank you. See, I didn't make that face. If you'd have been drinking Johnny Walker, you wouldn't have made that face.
Whew. Didn't have any at my disposal.
Yeah, well, we'll have to have Johnny Walker send you a bottle one day when we become the influencer that you are.
Yes.
So I was gonna take you back, and you didn't start out obviously with this big following and massive views on TikTok. Take me back to kind of where life started for young Haley. We were in our pre-interview, we're talking about how life was kind of rough for you as a young teenager. So take us back a little bit.
So it's actually a lot more of a story than I even gave up in the pre-interview, but I'll try to make it somewhat condensed. So when I was in middle school, I grew up my whole life. My mom's parents lived like 3 minutes away from us. And so we were really close. They had a farm. We were constantly, helping them out in the garden and at their house, just spending time. They were our primary babysitters pretty much. So we were always with them. And we actually found out that my grandma had cancer my 7th grade year in middle school. And she had it pretty bad in her whole body. And they basically said, you have about, I think, 4 to 6 months is what they gave us. And then about a week after that happened, her husband, my grandpa, passed away of what we think was a broken heart. He had a heart attack. And so my mom, throughout my middle school years, was taking care of her parents, her mom. And about a year after my grandma passed away, my dad passed away from cancer. He had a brain tumor. And that was my first year of high school. I was about 3 weeks into my first year of high school when that happened. And then about, I would say, a year after that, my mom was diagnosed with cancer and had a few different kinds of cancer and was going through treatment for a while. And, thankfully she's okay. But throughout that process, being a 14-year-old, I have a 16-year-old brother at the time, and he's 23 now. And we had to have conversations about, like, if something happens to my mom, what's going to happen to us? And, being a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, and having just lost one parent and finding out that there's a possibility of losing the other one, just going from this like beautiful life to feeling like you have nothing and feeling like you're going to lose everything that is important was tough. So it made me grow up really, really fast. And I had to kind of prioritize my time really young. When you're 14 and 15, you are living fast and, taking risks. And I slowed down a lot and really paid attention to, the people in my life that I wanted to give my time to and spend my time and energy on. I learned a lot.
So that's a really mature statement and outlook, especially for a 14 or 15-year-old, being a father of 5 kids and now soon to be 5 grandchildren when Sophia and Isaiah have their little Stevie Rose. What do you think set you apart from, most kids, if losing their a grandparent or grandparents and then losing a dad, and it sounds like you guys were a really close family. What do you think helped get you through those really challenging, tough times and dealing with something as tragic as loss and loss of a family member? What helped you get through that?
I had a really good base of friends who really went the extra mile for me at the time. And some of them I've grown apart from, just, being in high school and now not.
Sure.
But I think the biggest thing was I had just witnessed my mom go through, I can feel sorry for me and hurt myself and be hurt. But watching my mom having lost both of her parents and her husband of 20 years within that 3-year time span, I didn't want her to worry about me being hurt and how I was feeling. So I tried to, be the best that I could at the times where I could. I did fail, obviously. I struggled and had some lows, but
that's a lot for any 14, 15-year-old or a 50, 60, 70-year-old to have that amount of tragedy in such a short period of time. Do you think seeing the resolve of your mother and how she dealt with death and then how she dealt with cancer, do you think that really set an example for you to have resiliency and to be strong?
Yeah,
through
absolutely.
trials?
I do remember when she told us that she was sick and dealing with something. She told us, and then right after she told us, she's like, "But don't worry, I'm gonna be fine. Don't worry, I'm gonna be fine." And we did still have to have the conversations we had, but she had this outlook on it that there was nothing that was going to take her away from us, my brother and I.
Wow.
So
Wow. So your mom's doing well now, and she's that's great.
she's about to celebrate her 60th birthday this year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Mom. What's your mom's name?
Lisa.
Happy birthday, Lisa. That's awesome. Well, what a great example she set for you. Do you think any of that past stuff that was really tough, hard, challenging, do you think that has set a mindset for you? And we talk about mindset on my podcast a lot because I find that mindset or a belief system is what drives successful people. And I'm successful doesn't necessarily mean you got billions of dollars in the bank. It's just that you have a resolve to do things that other people wouldn't do. Do you think any of that tragedy has really set for you a cornerstone of how you live your life now?
Absolutely. I look back on my life pre-tragedy, when, my dad was still around mainly, and remember all the nice things that we had. And not to say that nice things equal happiness, because that's definitely not the truth, but I grew up with, a lot of fun things, and I look back and I want to be able to provide those things for my own children someday in the future. Like we had, a boat in a lake house and would spend every summer at the lake. And being in Michigan, that's a very common thing to do.
Yeah.
And I just would love to be able to provide those things for not only my future children, but myself. And my dad was very successful and was a very, very hard worker. So, bless
Excuse
you.
me. Thank you. Caught that on film, didn't we?
Yeah. He was very successful and a very hard worker. And I want that for myself. I tackle every day with the mindset that I can only be as successful as I let myself be. So I have to put in the work and do the research. And there's several things that I would love to do someday, but at this point in time, there's so many steps that come first.
Yeah.
But I have the mindset, and I have the research, and I have the tools and the people backing me and the people supporting me that are there to see me succeed.
So it sounds to me like you have a bucket list already, right? Us old folks talk about bucket lists and these things that we want to achieve in our life or places that we want to go or see. So you already have a list of places. You have a vision for what you want already?
Partially. My bucket list right now is more of what I want to accomplish, and then I think I'll add the fun stuff later. I've been and seen a lot of beautiful things in a lot of beautiful places. That's not to say I don't want to see more, because I definitely do. But at this point in my life, I'm trying to plan for what I'm going to be and who I'm going to be at 25 and at 30, and how I can build a successful business for myself and have a good group of people around me. That's what I'm focused on right now. And then once, those good things come, those blessings come, then I can work towards figuring out what comes next, what fun stuff I can accomplish.
What's really cool about what you just said is that you are 21 now?
Almost, yeah.
Almost 21. Whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing? Having a little toast there? Huh? That was apple juice you said earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was apple juice.
It was apple juice. Oh, brother. We may have to edit that part.
You asked, I can't lie.
That's good. You shouldn't lie. That's good. Wow. All right. We'll figure out how to get through that one, but we'll just let it roll.
Okay.
Nobody
Yes,
knows.
I'm 21.
Yeah. 21. Okay.
Yep.
But you've got a vision already for what 25 looks like for you?
What I would love for it to look like and what my goals are.
So what are you doing right now to prepare for what 25 looks like? And look, let's just be transparent, right? If you don't have this written down, that's okay. But do you write your goals out?
I do, more so in a kind of a manifestation. Do you know what like a goal vision board type thing is? Yeah, I love making like a little Pinterest of the things that I hope for myself. And what I see for 25, for Haley at 25, is for me to be 100% financially free in the way that I'm not ever concerned about paying a bill or, I can purchase the things that I want within reason.
Yeah.
But I like that I'm, at the age I am now and that I would say 85-90% financially free. And, I have a beautiful apartment that I take care of on my own. And I just want to continue on a good path. I don't want to take, steps back. I know that happens a lot, but I don't want to take steps back and then have to, rely on anyone else other than myself.
What do you think has driven you more in your young life? The fear of loss or the fear of success?
I don't know if fear of success would be the way that I would phrase it per se. I feel like I would mostly say hunger for success or desire for success.
Yeah.
I think that's what really persuades me. I see people living a life that I want to live. And I will go home and sit down and figure out how I can.
So when those times happen with your brother, I think I remember you saying earlier that you and your brother had conversations, you lost your grandma, your grandpa, lost your father, and then your mom gets diagnosed with cancer. And so I have to imagine that two young people are looking at your sibling and you're going, oh crap, if something happens to mom, it's us. What are we going to do? And is that still there does that resonate for you? Or have you moved beyond going, no, what I drive to now is the goals and the future, the vision that I have for the future. So what drives you, I guess, is what I'm really trying to get at.
I am driven by wanting to be able to be that person and that friend and that family member who, if you need help, I can be there. I can help you no matter what. I want to be, I've heard some great things about you as a person and what you do for your, sons and daughters, friends and family and extended friends and friends of a friend. The people that you are able to network them to and the things that you're able to provide for, the people in your household and beyond. I would love to have a similar position like that for myself. And I want to be able to provide those things for people. And I really admire that in you. probably asked Isaiah like 400 questions about you and what you do.
Hey, you're
Because
flipping this on me. I'm supposed to be interviewing you. You're not supposed to be talking about me today. So
I like to learn. I like to learn from people I admire.
yeah, that's great.
And I think that is one of the big drives for me, is constantly meeting people that I look up to. And also, yes, my past and the things that I went through also are a big driver for me, because I constantly am thinking about, is what I'm doing right now something that my dad would be proud of? And I'm at a point in my life where the answer is constantly yes.
Yeah, that's great. I think you would be very proud of you. I don't know many 21-year-olds that are, we'll just say 21, that have their own place, that pay their own bills, that support themselves financially. So my hat's off to you. I have to be very transparent. At 21, I needed help. I was a young Marine, already had one child. And had it not been for family and a support system around me, it would have been tough for Kathleen and I, because there were people there who were willing to pay it forward, to say, hey, we're gonna invest in you, to make sure that you are able to do well for your family in the future. So, it takes a tribe, it takes a team, I think, to get there. And I think even with what you experienced with your family members, the example that your father set and that your grandparents set, I think I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it feels like to me that they gave you hope and resolve that you've carried with you throughout this early part of your journey. So cheers to you. That's awesome that
Thank you.
You have that tenacity that most people, I got to admit, if I would have lost that many family members in that short a period of time, I'm not sure I could have kept the wheels on my mental bus and, stayed in it.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
I've got to ask this question. When you see something like cancer devastate a family like it did yours, does that ever stick in the back of your mind where you're like, is this coming for me?
I actually have, since everything. I kind of went on like this immediate like numbness after everything happened. And then one day it was like a flip switched and I became the most empathetic person. So now in my life, when people tell me of tragedy or, something that's happening in their life, it's like I feel other people's pain more than sometimes they even show it. And that is difficult because I don't know how to really control that, or, I don't want other people to think that I'm like assuming their pain or trying to take it away. I just really do feel for other people very deeply because of how it affected me. So when people tell me about, my mom's sick or my grandma's sick or something like that, it's really easy for me to empathize and sympathize with them.
Yeah. That's really great. It reminds me of a pastor that I was listening to driving to Lynchburg, Virginia once with Kathleen. It's a guy named Sean Bowles. And he was talking about the concept of empathy, that if you can't have empathy or you can't have love for something, you cannot have power over it. So it sounds like that you've learned to have empathy for people who are going through similar situations because you've experienced it. So I would tell you and encourage you that that's awesome, because now you can know how to help another person get on a healing path that you got on, versus, the self-absorbed, oh gosh, woe is me, my life is over. Because those who have passed wouldn't want you to have that mentality. I think your father, just from what you've described so far, would be like, hey, Haley, bad things have happened. Now pull your big girl pants up and continue the legacy that I've left you. and roll
Yeah,
on.
pretty much exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it's supposed to work. I mean, failure is defined by how long we stay down or how quickly we get up. And so when bad things happen to good people, yes, you should mourn. Yes, you should take those times to reflect on, those that have passed. But that same thing should also drive us to continue that legacy that they left us. And legacy doesn't always equal how much they left us in the bank account, how much life insurance they left us, or the boats or the beach houses. It's really that mindset. And it seems like your father, your grandparents left you an amazing mindset to just be tough and go, hey, you know what? It's appointed to every man to die. And we don't know our day, we don't know our time, but live your life to the fullest while you're here. Have empathy for people who have gone through that, and love recklessly those that you have the power and the benefit to help. And it seems like you're on that path, so that's really cool. And I want to take this time now and say, okay, there are things you can help people with emotionally, but I think you also have an opportunity now to help people who want to be entrepreneurs and young people who want to be entrepreneurs. And we have this world that we live in today that you and I are sitting here having an interview about 900 miles apart. And we have this technology where we can communicate without missing a split second. Hopefully we don't lose our signal while I'm saying this.
Right.
But instantaneous communication back and forth. And your world that you've grown up in 21 years, you don't know anything beyond the speed of information. When I was growing up, and I'm dating myself now, the fax machine. You know what a fax machine is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You have cable TV, right? You probably don't even have cable TV anymore, do you? You probably just have Wi-Fi and internet connection. No, who pays for cable, right?
Right.
Yeah, just us old folks. So, you've seen this transformation in technology, and the way that you have the opportunity now, and I would share this with young people, you have the opportunity to reach out and touch 7 billion people instantaneously. And that's why I want to come to today as an entrepreneur. You did something a year, maybe 2 years ago, TikTok. How long ago was that review you did?
Oh, that was a month ago.
It was only a month ago?
Yeah.
And I was thinking it was longer than that.
No, it was a little over a month ago now.
Okay.
But,
so let's jump to that for a minute.
Yeah. So I've been active on Instagram for a long time. My following's not quite the level of TikTok, but I have gained a decent following, I would say. And I always loved kind of when I was younger, pretending that I was an influencer, like pretending like everyone who saw my post.
So that word alone. So for 50-year-olds who are listening today that don't have a big TikTok or Instagram following, maybe they have Facebook still, but define for our audience what an influencer is. So
in a nutshell, an influencer is a person who people are gravitated towards just naturally. Typically, every age range has like a big influencer, like Kylie Jenner, Emma Chamberlain. There's male influencers like athletes. And basically, it is when you gain a following large enough where you are at leisure and you have the privilege to accept payment or some sort of trade for influencing products and services for people, brands, people, services like spas. A lot of places hire influencers. And it's kind of just a marketing tactic to get your information out there through real people. So
that's interesting. You know, growing up, I was a huge basketball fan, and loved playing basketball, loved playing football, but basketball was really, even though I played football and had an opportunity even at a collegiate level to have a early shot at that, basketball was really like my passion. So there was this one guy that had massive influence over my life, from an athletic point of view. MJ, right there in your Windy City. Michael Jordan was like the influencer of his time. What's interesting though is that when Michael Jordan was coming up, there was no Instagram. The internet was really just starting to come around, and it was, you know, AOL, ding ding dong dong.
Yeah, back then influencers were on like cereal boxes and and things like that.
That's an interesting thought, that back then your face was on a cardboard box. Today you're on streaming video talking about something that's that you're passionate about.
Right.
But what's interesting is that Michael Jordan, if there was anything that Michael Jordan made in the 1990s, I had it. From sweatsuits to the old black and red Air Jordans.
Did you keep them?
I do have them. They're in my attic. But
okay.
I wore the heck out of them. But they are the original, when the first Air Jordans came out in, God, I can't remember. You have to fact check me, Noah. When the first Air Jordans came out, the black and red ones, my Aunt Julie in Durham, North Carolina, and I'm a Tar Heel fan. Go Tar Heels. But I was raised in Durham, North Carolina, around all these Duke University fans. And I was like the outsider going, no way, this guy, Michael Jordan, he's going to be the king of basketball. He's going to be the next Dr. J. And sure enough, he took off and became arguably the best player of all time. Sorry, LeBron. He still has 6 rings, right? If you're in Chicago, you got to know this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you an MJ fan?
I am. And my dad was a big basketball player too. So I do know a good amount about MJ, Magic Johnson, LeBron. And now, you know, that you have these newer, younger stars, like, is it Stephen Curry?
Oh yeah, Steph. I love Steph.
Steph. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't keep up with it as much as I would like to, because I do like watching basketball, but I know a decent amount.
That's cool.
A decent amount.
So did you find the date, the original release?
November 17th, 1984.
November 17th, 1984.
And you had them.
And I still have them. They're probably
tattered, worth a ton.
A little torn. Yeah, I don't know that anybody would want those things, but maybe I want them. That's what they're priceless to me.
Yeah.
So, but that influence, the point here is the influence that Michael Jordan had over my life as a young person was amazing. Anything that he would have produced, I would have been all over it. So today we fast forward a few years, and now here you are. You have a TikTok that you produced a couple months ago.
Yeah, I think it was in 2/12. So February 12th.
February 12th. And so this TikTok, you were just there was this soap, I think, that you were reviewing just because you liked it. So tell us about that.
So earlier, I think over like when everything was shut down, there was a trend where this influencer gentleman who is a skincare influencer, he has a huge following, like 27 million followers. posted a video about putting Head and Shoulders shampoo on your forehead for texture bumps and closed comedones, which is basically a different type of acne, harder to treat.
Okay.
And people, were commenting in the 100,000s, like 500, 600,000 comments of people saying, I have this issue and I've never been able to get rid of it. And I just, with my skincare background, watched that and I was like, this does not seem safe for your skin. It's not made for your skin. That's why it's called Head and Shoulders. There's no face or forehead in there. So why are we putting it on our face, And I took it upon myself because I also had that problem. So I was one of those, 100,000s of people who were like, hey, I could use a product for that. So I got on Amazon and I looked up the main ingredient of the Head and Shoulders, but face soap. So 2% pyrithione zinc face soap. And I looked that up, and up at the very top of the list comes Noble Formula 2% pyrithione zinc bar soap. And I saw that and I was like, this is perfect. I read the ingredients. There's only like 6 ingredients, whereas, the Head and Shoulders has like probably 60 plus.
Words you can't pronounce, right? Or
right,
that I can't.
exactly.
Maybe you can pronounce, but I can't.
No, I can't even. I don't know half the things that are in there. And I saw it and I was like, okay, I'm going to test this out on myself. And if I like it, I'll let people know. If I don't, no big deal. Wasn't super expensive. And that's the end of it. So I bought this bar of soap, and within 2 weeks, my skin cleared perfectly, like no breakout anywhere. And I was like, wow, this stuff is really. What's
the name of the soap? We'll give it a quick plug.
Noble Formula Skincare, and they have 2 vegan bars and 1 non-vegan bar. And they have an emu bar soap, an argan bar soap, and a mango and cocoa butter bar soap.
Emu, like the animal?
Yeah, emu oil actually has been used since like ancient Egyptian times. It's really high in fatty acids, vitamin E, all the things that your skin really needs to repair itself.
What do you do for old and busted?
Well, you're not old and busted.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to give you any advice, but
anything that makes hair grow back?
There actually is a couple things that make hair grow back, but they're pretty complicated and kind of painful.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
There's hair transplants.
Oh, yeah. I'm not some soap I can rub on my head and make hair. Yeah. No. I do this on purpose still. I still have some hair, but I like keeping it short.
My dad was bald.
Yeah.
Bald guys are the coolest.
That's right. There you go. You're winning points with me today, Haley. Good. I'll take it easy on the interview with you then. So you, I guess you went on Amazon and you ordered the soap, and you tried it out.
So, yeah. So I saw a need, and I was not going to give a blind review. So I used it for about 2 weeks, and then I posted that video. It was almost exactly 2 weeks after I started using it that I posted the video, and I went to bed. I posted it probably around like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I went to bed that night, and it had like 50,000 views and like 10,000 likes after I posted it by the time I went to sleep.
In one day.
And then, well, that was in like a couple hours. And then I woke up the next morning and it had like 1.3 million views and a couple 100,000 likes.
Okay, so I think there are going to be people going to call BS on us on this. So you have it on your phone. You were looking at it a second ago. So yes. How many are you up to now?
1.7. And then I posted a follow-up video a couple days after that has 1.2. And then I posted a video last night that was another follow-up that has 255.7 thousand.
Wow. So after our interview today, with our 4 followers, you'll probably
Yes.
get like one more view. So congratulations.
Thank you.
We really made it blow up for you.
Yes.
Let me put your phone up in your camera and let me see. And I'm sure Jordan will have some post-production stuff that she'll be able to put in. Yeah, you can let it play out.
This
So
one
you were
has
just
363,000.
so you were just on you took your phone. So I just want to, as an old man, I want to understand how you did this. You took your phone, set it in front of you with your house coat on, and
Yes.
scrubbing your face. Or I don't know what you were doing there.
I was
I haven't
talking
watched the
about
video
it.
yet. I heard you talking about it at my house, and I was like, that's crazy. I want to interview you and figure out what you did here. So right in front of everyone, tell me what you decided to do.
Well, I definitely knew that there were people out there that were interested in what I was saying, because I'd seen people have this issue. And I also knew that there were going to be some people who could not put Head and Shoulders on their face, because working with skin, I know that people have really, really terrible sensitive skin and allergic reactions to just random things. So I didn't, like you said, I was wearing my house coat, so I didn't really plan for the exposure that I got. If I did, maybe I would have brushed my hair or looked a little bit more presentable. But the thing that really people cared about was not how I looked, and it was that I was kind of giving them the inside scoop on a product that there's a need for, that is much better for your skin and a much better alternative than what maybe they were already using.
So
tried.
you were a fan of the product before you went out and gave a review on it?
Yes.
So do you think that's part of being a genuine influencer, I guess, is don't go review something that you haven't tested or tried just to get likes and views. It's got to be legit.
It was genuine. Yes, absolutely. It was genuine. And I think I can tell when some people are disingenuine in what they post or what they're influencing. Like, you'll see someone who is constantly, dressed to the nines, and then next thing you know, they're reviewing like a cheese grater on TikTok, and you're like, what? Like, where is this coming from? So for me, my content was all kind of like just my life and my lifestyle. And it really did flow with that. I don't think it felt disingenuine at all. Obviously, to the people who purchased the soap, it didn't feel disingenuine, because I was talking about something that had genuinely helped me and changed my skin.
Wow. So, now you've got a couple million views on TikTok of this. What is that correlated? What has that done in your life? I think you told me that the manufacturer reached out to you.
So I actually, when I went to bed the first night that I posted it, and I saw that it was starting to pick up some traction, I messaged the skincare company on Facebook, and I was like, hey, just letting you know, I posted this video and it's blowing up. So if you notice, any sudden change in sales, this is what it is. This is where it's coming from. And about 25 minutes later, he responded to me and said, my daughter and I have been sitting here for 25 minutes trying to figure out where this sale boost is coming from. We knew, that there was something going on. Someone posted, or someone who has influence posted, because about 10 years prior, they were on, I think 10 years, they were on Dr. Oz. The soap was on Dr. Oz, and they had noticed that big spike, and it was similar in numbers, the amount of sales that they were doing from this spike. And
so one one post, that was how long did you record?
60 seconds, I think.
So 60 seconds. and a whole TV show on Dr. Raj, you got as much influence or cells that pegged his meter to be able to say, hey, what the heck?
Yeah, I started freaking them out a little bit because they were running low on inventory.
Wow. So you broke the Noble machine for a day.
I sure did. He was like, hey, can I ask you not to post anything for a while because we're struggling? And I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
So yeah, it took off.
Good for Noble, good for you. Now, for folks who don't understand, and I being in that category, you had this one post and now a few other follow-up posts, and they've gained a lot of traction. You monetize that for Noble. Is there a way to monetize that for you?
So I kind of, going off what I was just saying, he messaged me and told me that he found a spike, and immediately you could tell he saw something in me, saw something in maybe me in the video or maybe the way I presented myself to him, but he definitely saw something and he was like, I want to talk to you sometime this week, and just kind of left it straightforward like that. So we implemented a commission, but that came after he offered me a full-time marketing position, creative marketing position, and as well as product development. So I'm kind of working on not only creating a Instagram base for them, while also kind of using my videos to translate to Instagram followers. I'm also looking into creating new products based on people's needs. You know, if I can find a need as big as I did, and that created a sale boost in Noble Formulas soap, I can also find a need in other things and create a product for that and market that to people through my platform.
That's pretty amazing. Did you intend to do that? Did you intend for that to happen? Or was this just, hey, I've got this genuine problem. I don't think people should be putting head and shoulders all over their face. Let's find another way to solve this problem. So you found a problem, you found a solution, and then an opportunity found you.
Yes.
By you just being genuine.
It was a huge blessing. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. That's how I know that God is right behind me at all times, because I had a crazy situation at my spa that I was working at. My boss was a little difficult.
I think I remember you saying something. We won't say she was batshit crazy, but she may be.
We won't not say that at the same time. So she made my life very difficult at times, all the time. And I was just waiting, and not waiting aimlessly. I was looking into becoming my own Amazon seller and becoming, a dropship entrepreneur, and trying to find something that could get me out of there. I was researching things that I could do with one of my friends who lives here. And we were kind of talking about maybe pooling our funds and trying to come up with something. And then next thing you know, I'm offered this job with a mentor who will literally teach me how to become a successful entrepreneur through Amazon as a platform.
You know what? You should go back. Hey, Noah, or can you tell me which episode Michael Walding was on? So I have a retail arbitrage business that is run by a company called Next Level Services. And I actually interviewed the owner of that, I think about a week or two before you were at my house. I was down in Miami, and I interviewed another entrepreneur, amazing mindset, great businessman.
Why didn't we go to Miami?
I don't know. You
we could have done that.
You came the wrong time. But yeah, we can do that on the next episode when you're at 10 million views, and you can fly me down on your private jet to do an interview with you. Right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You flipped that around on me.
I did. But you should look up Michael Walding.
Okay.
So he has a great company. They do retail arbitrage. So it's not necessarily having like a Noble soap.
Mhm.
They can take any product and help an entrepreneur sell using arbitrage. So I won't give it
Yeah.
away. People should go watch episode 132.
That's actually
Episode
what my boss
132.
does. Okay. Yeah, so that's actually what my boss does as well. He owns it's called Major Goods. So it's the same idea.
Okay.
There's a couple companies underneath that brand that he has taken young entrepreneurs, or maybe entrepreneurs who didn't really plan for their business to explode the way it did,
Yeah.
and help them out and give them a platform for sales and marketing and all the things that he's super good at.
Well, man, when the timing's right, maybe we should talk to your boss at Major Goods and get him on the show and have both you guys on the show talking about the products. I love interviewing entrepreneurs and finding out, what are you doing? How'd you do it? What's your black box secret to your success? And the black box secret here with you is
my age.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Wow. That's all. And how old is he?
In his 40s. I'm not
20?
exactly sure.
20 plus years then. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think that's kind of why he took me under his wing the way he did, was he saw something in me that he himself had, and maybe wished someone saw in him when he was that age. But he's very successful and has a beautiful family and a beautiful wife, and a great life out in Washington
Wow.
State.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. So this opportunity that you got with Major Goods, that's the name. We'll throw a little shout out to Major Goods. And the specific bar of soap that you reviewed that just blew up, what is that called again?
Noble Formula 2% Pyrithione Zinc Emu Bar Soap.
So we can find that on Amazon. So folks,
yeah, it's actually on. Once I posted that video, it skyrocketed to Amazon's number one in all of soaps. That's beating out Dial, Dove, every other bar soap. I had it number one on the list for a couple days there, and then, which is a big deal in Amazon's world, because there's I mean, this isn't even a real number, but there is literally a bajillion things on Amazon.
A bajillion might be a real number. We'll figure that out. We'll fact check you, Haley.
It is when in Amazon terms, because I don't know if I feel like the only number that would be able to tell you how many things is on Amazon is Google, and Google has like 100,000 zeros.
Yeah. Googleplex.
So yes, right. So it also is now Amazon's choice, which gives it a huge boost because Amazon is putting it out there for people to see it easier. Recommending it to people, promoting it on their own because they see that people are buying it and people are consuming it pretty regularly now. Tim, my boss, even said we haven't noticed a huge drop since I posted that first video. It's been pretty relatively stagnant as like a good happy medium, a good happy addition to what they were already doing daily in sales. And I personally have the theory that is because I do this on my own, that people saw my video, looked up the soap, added it to their cart, and waited to when they, really wanted to purchase it. Right. And so people are, still purchasing it from that initial or maybe the second video. Yeah. But they're just not.
So when you buy a bar of soap like that, how long is it supposed to last? So, I mean, what's the life cycle of a?
I still have about 75% of mine left.
So you use it like once a week, once a day? I mean,
like twice a week-ish, I would say. I have pretty resilient skin at this point in my life. And I don't need to use it every day, but it is safe to use every day. And it won't, hurt your skin or hurt you. I think Kathleen bought it.
Well, what was interesting is that my wife, Kathleen, who you're alluding to, before we even knew you and met you that weekend, she said, "Oh, you know what's funny? I actually watched her video and ordered the soap." So I was like, Okay, that's pretty interesting. I was a little blown away by that. Shouldn't have
Yeah.
been, because that's influence. That's how influencing works. So what did that do for like your Instagram following before these videos was how many people?
I think I had like 5,500, and now I have like a solid like 6,080 or something like that.
So in 30 days, a 20% increase just in your
Yeah.
following there. How
Yeah,
about TikTok? How's that different?
I would say like 15,000 followers from the last couple posts. I had like 16,000, and then now I have 33 or 34,000 followers on TikTok.
So that doubled. Wow.
Yeah, and my likes doubled as well. They kind of group all your likes together, and I have like a couple million likes now.
So has that changed for you? What your thoughts on now as an influencer and having millions of views of a video? Has it changed the way you think about sharing, other products or other services that you like or enjoy or use?
Yeah. I have had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me to review their products since I posted that. A company that sells fake eyelashes, a company that sells a clay mask. Those are kind of conflicts of interest now. At first,
Because you're
I would have been able to
employed.
do them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't do it. I'm really happy with the company that I keep at the moment, so I don't need it. And the things that they offer me are like a free trial of whatever they're trying to get me to promote. It is what it is. It's nice, and I appreciate the offers, but I just can't. So I try to, but I don't want to lie to people either. So yesterday I posted my skincare routine, which really was my skincare routine because it's very easy. And I included the Nova Formula soap and then 2 products that are not Nova Formula or Major Goods at all, that I do use daily. And that to me is not so much of a conflict of interest because those products aren't in the same category that I talked about as the Nova Formula soap, if that makes sense. They don't have a similar product, so I'm not competing with the 2.
What does Noble sell other than this soap that you use to deal with this skin issue? What else do they?
Yeah, they have lots of stuff. They have a shampoo for people who need a shampoo. They have a anti-microbial pillowcase for people who might have really sensitive skin and need to protect their skin throughout the night. Pillowcases hold tons of bacteria. They have
that's pretty gross to think
moisturizers.
about. Your pillowcase, your sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Your mattress gets heavier every year that you own it, which is kind of
disgusting.
Nasty. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna switch my mattress out every year now.
Right. I have a protector on mine. Just have to switch the protector out. But
so the protector. All right, let's talk. What do you mean you have a protector on you? Like a P guard, like a plastic?
No, it's it has a waterproof coating on it, but it's an antimicrobial, antibacterial, and waterproof, dustproof case, and it like zips. You put it on, and then you flip your mattress upside down and zip it shut underneath, and then flip it back over.
So you should tell people about that. You have that on your mattress. That's a thing.
Yes.
Maybe Kathleen knows that's a thing. I didn't know that's a thing.
I spill coffee on myself all the time, and I occasionally will have my coffee in bed. So I had no choice. I had to get one.
There you go. Who sells those?
I got mine at Sleep Center, or I don't know, mattress store around here. Art of Sleep. I don't know, but it was just a mattress store. They had it there. Yeah. But I think it's important now that I have that. But yeah,
with
they
all
have
the dead skin
moisturizers.
cells falling off your
Right.
body. You go,
Exactly. They have moisturizers, they have sprays, they have like facial mists if you have really bad acne and you need like some relief, or for people who have really bad rosacea or keratosis pilaris,
So
eczema.
you know a lot about skin. So are you an esthetician? Is that how you say it? How do you say it?
Esthetician.
Esthetician.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, there you go.
Close.
Don't ask me to spell it.
Close.
Ethna.
Yeah.
E-T-A. What?
Yes.
Say it again. What's the word?
Esthetician. E-S-T-H.
Okay.
E-T-I-C-I-A-N. Esthetician. I think
Yeah.
I got that right. I hope.
Sure. You
I
did.
don't know.
A plus.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I went to art school in Michigan and pursued art. Sophia and I actually used to love going. We would go to events and paint together and do all kinds of art stuff. So I do portraits mostly, drawing and painting portraits. And I thought that was it for me. Like art was my thing. And then my mom kind of segued me and was like, you can't, it's hard to become really successful in print work.
Yeah.
And she was right. It is. And I don't want to be a starving artist. So I looked into interior design and I hated it. I like to do it from my own space, but not other people, because I worked with a lady who was very difficult. And I would spend hours putting something together for her and she would hate it. And I just decided that was not for me, because the amount of opinions you deal with in interior design would make me go crazy.
Yeah.
So then I'm also a very skilled makeup artist. And I was like, maybe I'll go go to something that's more towards that. So I did the aesthetics thing so that I could learn makeup artistry and the other side of aesthetics as well. And I went out and got myself a nice fancy makeup kit for bridal makeup artists, and so that I could do bridal makeup. And I had my first wedding over Corona that I was 100% makeup artist for. My cousin and her 8 bridesmaids, and I got them finished in like 2 hours flat. So yeah, I found what my niche was through a lot of trial and error, but I knew I always wanted to do something with some type of creative freedom. And even now, segueing into marketing for a skincare company and product development for a skincare company, I'm still able to keep that education alive and the knowledge that I have with this new knowledge that I'm learning and the creative aspect of what I'm continuing to do. I have a lot of creative freedom in this position, and I'm really thankful for that.
That's awesome. So in closing and trying to wrap this up with you today and trying to stay on a tight timeline here.
Yeah.
What would you tell young people who are influencers and who are trying to create an opportunity as an entrepreneur, but still be genuine, still be, transparent in their communication with others about, their product or service that they're trying to influence?
Yeah.
What kind of suggestions, recommendations would you give to young entrepreneurs?
I think the biggest one is if you wouldn't market it or recommend it to your mom. Oops, sorry.
Haley's iPad.
Did you lose me?
Yeah,
it started to die. If you wouldn't market it or recommend it to your mom, don't recommend it to thousands and thousands of people. So if you don't believe in the product yourself, if you don't have any trust in the product yourself, don't go and tell people that it's great, because you're actually probably going to end up with a lot of people in your comments telling you that they hate it or that it's horrible. And then that just reflects badly
Yeah.
on you. So if you keep it as genuine as possible, then you'll always be able to stand behind what you say at the beginning, you know?
Yeah. So it's one of the things I heard years ago, is that you can have a lot of things in life taken from you, but there's only one thing you can give away, and that's your integrity. So, you know, being integrous with the products that you market or solicit, that there has to be a belief system in that, and that behavior should follow that belief system. So I think that's great advice. You know, don't sell to someone what you wouldn't sell to your own mother. I like that. You know, are there anything, I always love to ask people that I interview, is there anything that you're reading right now that has had influence, or had an impact on your life that you would share with an audience?
Well, I did just read a fiction book, but I wouldn't say it impacted my life. I just liked it. It was a good book.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's called And Now She's Gone by Rachel Housel Hall.
Can you pick it up on Amazon or bookstores? Or
Yeah, I read
what's
it
the
on
name
my
of it again?
Kindle. And Now She's Gone
And Now She's
by
Gone. Okay.
Rachel Housel Hall. It was a great book. It was really easy to read, and it was a page turner. But actually, I think the thing that I read that really influenced me the most was probably just my daily devotion. That's what I typically, pull my daily strength from, I would say.
So before we started this morning, you walked away to get a cup of coffee or maybe your apple juice. And there's a sign on the wall behind you. Can you move to the left or right? It says, let go, let God, and let go and let God. And you said that was black and you painted it
gold to match.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me about that statement. What influence does God have in your life?
A huge influence. Actually, I've grown up in the church. I've always gone to church every Sunday. My dad's whole family, his side of the family, he grew up as a little kid going to the same church that I grew up going to. It's actually where my parents met.
Oh, wow.
That church.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I always was influenced by God, and I still am. As I've gotten older, I start to understand what God is and means differently. And I love that because it helps me grow in my spirituality. But I always, anytime there's anything going on in my life, I always turn to God, which is exactly what we're supposed to do and what we're called to do. But I look to prayer as, a huge and important aspect of success is praying for that success and praying for being humble and being sure that you're giving your thanks to God for the things that He's given you and brought you.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, and thanks for allowing me to just pick your brain a little bit today about being an influencer. I'd love to circle back with you in the coming months, maybe even the coming weeks, and just get an update on where you're at. And
maybe I'll have to come back out.
Please, anytime. Doors open. We got an extra bedroom at our house, so you're always welcome back. You can get Sophia and Isaiah to come down too. That's always a plus. So
yeah.
Thank you for sharing today and sharing with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Your early start to entrepreneurship. I definitely would love to keep in touch and talk more about major goods and keep an eye on this this viewership on TikTok. By the way, before I let you go today, tell us your address, your handles, or whatever you guys call it. Why are you laughing at me, Noah? What?
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
What's your username?
Your Insta and then your username. Oh,
my
how genuine.
TikTok username is Haywire, like Haywire, but my first name.
So
Hayley,
HAYWIRE.
Yep, with an underscore at the end. So HAYWIRE_. And then my Instagram username is my first name, Haley, Haley X, the letter X, Grace, my middle name.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
And do you pronounce your last name Baas or Baas or
Yeah, Baas.
Baas? Like
Yep.
Badas.
Like a sheep, what a sheep says with an S on the end.
Baas.
Yes,
Ram
but
you.
yeah, right. Without the voice inflection. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Bass. Like that?
Yeah. Whatever you
work?
want, really.
Haley Bass.
Baas. Yes.
Baas. What is that? Is that German?
Dutch.
Dutch. Oh, so my little Dutch Malinois, your family, your kin.
Yes.
Did you see my
Exactly.
puppy when you were in town?
Yes. I
Yeah.
have pictures of him on my phone. He's so cute.
Yeah. So you guys are distant cousins, I guess. The Dutch.
Yeah. Yep. I think
Somewhere.
twice removed or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So silliness ends. Let's see. We'll give you. Everyone's clapping for. Can you hear that? You can't hear it
No.
in your end? No.
I have no problem clapping for myself.
You're not getting any of that.
No.
She's not hearing it. And so I've got a little pad over here where I can clap and give
Thank you.
yeah. So the audience loved you. They clapped and little kids said
Lovely.
yay for you since you didn't hear
I love that.
You'll have to go back and watch it. You'll
I will.
We can even throw you a Mike Tyson in here. She can't hear it at all.
No.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Anyways.
I have to just pretend.
Yeah. You'll go back and watch. That'll make you now go back and watch yourself.
Oh,
in
I
the
will.
interview. So
Don't worry.
all right. Hey, thanks so much for doing this with us today. Stay warm in Chicago, and we'll see you sometime in the near future. Good
All
luck
right,
with
perfect.
Major Goods.
Thank you. I'm about to get on work, so
Go to work. Don't want to get you in trouble.
thanks. No,
Bye,
not
Hank.
at all. Bye.
See ya.